Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Hi, Amy. Hi, Atul.
Hello, teacher. What happened in the previous class, madam? And
Yeah. So, what happened? No,
nothing.
the Wednesday, you mean? No, that was a very tough day. They actually had a burst very near to our home, and the completely it was like shut down. The it's not just shut down. The whole thing is like they didn't like inform us. So mornings I had my school classes, and then I was thinking like it will come sometime. They said like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock it will come. Then they said 3:30 it will come. And I think like it took a long time. The other thing is like my phone battery died, and our UPS was completely used up because all the four of us work from home, and they were like children's classes as well. So at 1 o'clock, 1:30, our phones and everything got dried up. And the only thing is like usually I charge. That day I didn't, because like I don't know, like the previous evening I was like correcting papers and I was like taking some time to finish work. I didn't charge it. So that was a very awful day. Even one of the school classes I missed. That was at around like 2:30 or 3:30. I missed it, thinking like if it comes I can attend. I missed both the groups. Actually, for you I'm like almost in the fifth lesson, so I could have just given you some work or something, but the other group is like in the very start. So I really missed that class somehow. And Wednesdays I always wish, it's conversation and we shouldn't be missing, but sometimes it's not our plans at all. Yeah. But you were all enjoying and partying that there was no class. I thought like Sid will come. I don't know. He's not yet here. 5:30 in the morning. I don't know. Poor boy. Okay, so I think like we'll just get into the lesson because like we have reached one, like half of it. In Germany we usually have A1.1 and A1.2, which is like it's like half the course and then the next half. Usually, the first half takes a long time to reach, but the second half really takes not that much. We will quickly finish because with the knowledge that you have from the lesson 1 to 5, most of it is like a practice. Of course there'll be like few like grammatic, very important grammatic topics, but apart from that, the lessons, the lesson, like the reading, the lesson here, and all of that should be like, that when you do it, it must be. So we'll start with it. So I think we were in Tag für Tag und Lektion 5. And we were somewhere near at site. We really like learnt about site and the calendar of Familia Dobat Undan. Yeah. Now, what we are going to see today is also like I would like to just start with one topic which is like very, very important, which is called modal verbs. And modal verbs are very like much used in English as well. If you see, like I can play, I can sing, I can for instance walk, I can cook. So even in English it's the same. There is a helping verb in the second position and then a verb at the end of the position. So if you take, for instance, in English we can say the sub, maybe one sentence, I can play. Very simple. And it translates exactly the same. Ich kann spielen. Kann is a helping verb, and these verbs are called Modalverben of Deutsch, modal verbs in English. So, what we are going to do is like we are going to see what are all the modal verbs in of Deutsch and understand the underlying meaning, because these verbs will help you to speak a lot. For instance, I can, I must, I should, I would, and I would, and then maybe I would like to, and I am allowed to. Take all these verbs, okay? Can, must, should, would like to, am allowed to, or not allowed to. So then if oops yeah then if you take the other in of Deutsch, what are all these verbs? Just note it down in your note, okay, because it's very important, and it will work as a, like, it will help you as a reference point. So it is ich kann, I can, yeah. Ich muss, ich soll, ich will, oh, ich will, ich möchte, one second, ja, möchte, ich darf. So when you come here to see what are all the verbs, these are all the, as you think, these are all the conjugations of the verbs. We need to know the full form of the verb, isn't it? So when you come to the full form of the verb, then you have some things like what are all these verbs? The full form of these verbs lie right here. Können, and können is a very, very important verb because we use a lot in German. Müssen. And I will tell you what is the major difference between these. Sorry, one second. Major difference between these verbs: sollen, wollen. Then you have möchten. Then darf, but then it actually goes like this: dürfen. So one, two, three, four, five, six. And there is one more which we don't say it as, sometimes it comes as modal verb. And apart from this, I would say mögen. I like swimming. I like watching TV. I like. So mag is something like I like directly. Okay. And it comes with the whole form of the verb is mögen. And if you see here, then it is ich. So you need to know this. When you see the next page of your lesson, it is all about this. Können, müssen, sollen, wollen, möchten, dürfen, mögen. So try saying that wiederholen Sie bitte das. So try saying each of these verbs. Können, müssen, sollen, wollen, möchten, dürfen, mögen. And we just saw one of this, which, if you remember, the kann, ich kann und ich kann nicht. Yeah. So every verb, I must not. I should not. I would not. I would not like to. I'm not allowed to. All these verbs comes with one, I would say one negation, which is the nicht. You can add it in case if you see it is needed. Yeah, ich kann nicht, ich muss nicht, ich soll nicht, ich will nicht, ich möchte nicht, ich darf nicht. So these are all the verbs. We will see the forms and everything later. But I would like you to just give me some English sentences to see where is this usage do you see in day to day life. For instance, I'm going to ask you for one sentence with can. Hi, Alex. Is Alex there? Is he there? No, Alex. Okay. So, if you see right here, what are all these things that you see right here is we will just come back to one sentence. You have to just use must. Okay, I must. And tell me one sentence, I.
I must go to school today.
I must go to school today. That's a good sentence. Okay. We will come back. Thank you, Sai. Emmy, can you tell me one English sentence with should?
I should read.
I should read every day. Okay. Would, Juhi.
I would like to help.
I would like to help. That is would like to, möchte. Yeah. I would, Atul, just with I would.
I would swim.
I would
Swim.
swim. I would swim. Uh,
Swim in the pond.
I would, we will come back to this because I will tell you what. I would swim. Okay, that is what is here. I would swim. If I had a chance. Is that okay? If I add a little bit to your sentence,
No.
I would swim if I had a chance. And then the last one is müssen. We have written sollen, wollen, möchten, dürfen. So dürfen, I'm allowed. I am allowed to any guesses? I'm allowed to
Speak in there.
speak. I'm allowed to speak. Okay, very good. So when you see this, like can, must. What is the difference between these two? Can and must. When do you use can and when do you use must?
I can that we are saying if I can do something
Mhm.
for example for I can play football because I know that. So
Okay.
I can say that. And must
Yeah.
it is
Yes, I continue, please. Must is
uh, that we have to do that certainly at that instant time. So we say that.
very, very good. Very good. Because that is what is the very good, like, the important difference is can is my choice. Must is like it's a rule. For instance, I must go to school today is a rule set by the school that if you're not coming, there will be a consequence for not going to school every day. But I can play football is like, it is my own decision. I can play, I need not play. It is under my own control. But must is like not just you, it is also a small frame outside yourself and there are some rules that you're following, and if you're not doing it, there is a consequence. Yeah. And if you say, I would like to help, it is just like your, I would say, a generous form of yourself. Just say, I would like to help financially to the people who really need it. That is my choice again. Yeah, I would definitely do that. But when is a question. We never know. I would like to help when. Do you like to help now? The time is not given when we say about would like to. I would like to have a coffee. Yeah. So when you order as well, it is always very höflich. Höflich means, I would say, respectable to just ask people, I like to have a coffee is different from I would like to have a coffee. I like to have a coffee is like my own choice, and I really make it very personal. But when I say I would like to have a coffee, which is also a very small, like, the line is very, very thin, and it really is something that you go a little further, give them that small respect to tell them, I would like to have a coffee. If you have, bring it, please. Like, that form of it is like, I would like to have help. And when you say, I would swim if I had a chance, the should and would always are two things that many people in English also they confuse themselves with should and would. Yeah. I should read every day because it helps me to improve my language. That could be one thing. So you are putting yourself a constraint saying, okay, I should do this. Yeah. It is not done yet. Yeah. I should walk every day. I should do my physiotherapy every day. I should, it is like some things that you set for yourself. But I, like, when I say I would like to help, is like it is not done yet, but I am willing to do that. Yeah, the will is the main force when it works with would like to. Would I am allowed to speak is like a completely a box and 100% rule, which means you, it's not about just you, about the rules you set for yourself. It's the third circle where there are like constitution and there are rules that you have to follow. I am not allowed to smoke right here in this place. If it means if you smoke, you will be legally fined or legally taken for a grant. Yeah. So a Durfin usually comes with rules by the constitution. Yeah. And for instance, I must is also some things like not the constitution. I mean, it is just the place where you go to school or to college, any institutions or any other things which is common for many other people. It is not okay if I must go to school and you need not go to school. Nobody, like many people have the same rules. That is a very small institution wise, I would say I must do this. Ich muss heute lernen, weil ich Prüfung habe, which means like must learn today because I have an exam tomorrow. So that is what it is. So that is the difference between all of this. And if you have taken it down, I think like we should just go about how do we write that of Deutsch. Ich muss nach or ich muss zur Schule jeden Tag gehen. Otherwise, you just take this today and just say, I must go to school. Ich muss zur Schule gehen. Zur is go to, T-O. Yeah. So, if you see in English, I must go, I must play, I must sing, I must dance. The two verbs comes together. Yeah. I must walk in the park every day. I must read. I must. So anything like these two verbs comes together in English. But of Deutsch, it is very different. These two verbs separates themselves, and you know the rule, right? Verb is the king, and verb is in the second position. So one verb, the main verb, which is muss, kann, wollen, or soll, will, möchte, darf, mag, all these always comes in the second position. Yeah, please write it down in Malayalam or in English. Modal verben always stays in position 2 in the sentence structure. And the second verb, which is the whole verb, like for instance, I go is like ich gehe. Yeah, but when two verbs come, one with the modal verbs, the second verbs goes to the end of the sentence. So these two are the rules for using modal verben. The first rule being the modal verbs conjugates itself and stays in position 2. Second, the second verb goes to the end of the sentence in full form. So these two are the rules. I'm just going to write down these rules as well so that it makes life easier. There are two rules for modal verbs. One, conjugate the modal verb and place it in position 2 in the sentence. 2, to the second verb in full form goes to the end of the sentence. These two are the rules for using modal verbs. Yeah. So these two are like every modal verb you take in English as well. There are two verbs in a sentence. I think I've written this conjugate spelling wrong. Conjugate. So there are two verbs in modal verbs, and the first verb is in the second position. The second verb is in the third position. It comes together, hand in hand together. But of Deutsch, you just need to remember there are modal verbs. The can, must, should, would like to, and I'm allowed to. All these are called modal verbs because it comes with another verb. It doesn't come standalone. Ich kann, ich muss, ich will. You can't say anything. What will you do? What can you do? What must you do? What would you like to do? So there are certain things, and you have to complete the sentence. And with a second verb, only you can complete a sentence. So there are two rules. One is first conjugate the modal verb, and place it in the position 2 in the sentence. The second verb in full form, just underline that in full form. If it is document, I would have underlined it and bolded it, this thing, but I don't have the option in this whiteboard. So please underline second verb in full form goes to the end of the sentence. Is this clear? So when you come here, I would like you to work on these four sentences. Okay, one, I did only one. Ich muss zur Schule gehen. So you know most of these verbs, and I think like you should just try translating these four sentences of to German. Try it.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
in the first sentence, I must go to school. If there is a word called every day, today, then how the sentence will become?
Yeah, today is like temporal. Temporal is a Zeit form. Zeit means time. Yeah. Usually we have discussed this. Whenever you have this, you have two options. You can put it in the middle of the sentence, or preferably you put it on the first form of the sentence. Yeah. But the sentence will never, like the verb doesn't change its position. That's a very good question. Heute, okay, heute muss ich zur Schule gehen. Or you can say, ich muss heute zur Schule gehen. You can do that as well. Ich muss heute zur Schule gehen. You can do that, but I prefer the first one where I put every time the site. Site means the time. Whenever it denotes the time, I always push it to the front of the sentence. Heute muss ich zur Schule gehen is my choice. But if you are writing the second way as well, it is not grammatically wrong. It is okay. Because in a, why I'm stressing on the first one is there is a reason. When you come to, like, in case if you're like learning A2 and then going to B1, then comes something called an acronym about like where to put each word. Till that time you'll be like, happily writing Ich muss heute zur Schule gehen from A1 and A2, and then when you come to B1, suddenly they say, no, 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 always, it's better to put the temporal first. Temporal is a site adverb, or like, the adverbs with time, adverb of time. So how or when, these are questions, and these questions are answered by the adverbs of time. And when you say when, then you have to say morgens, abends, nacht, and they always immediately say in B1 saying suddenly you change it. I really found it very, very difficult because I've been writing like this for almost like 1 year, and suddenly somebody tells me, no, 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 this is a better way. So I'm saying if you even write it the second way, it is not grammatically wrong, but they prefer, if you the native Germans prefer writing it, usually that's the time in the first place. So you can decide which one to go about it. I would definitely prefer you to do the first one. Yeah. And it changes. Can you see that ish goes? Ish is dancing around the verb. It can change it to position 1 to 3 to 4 to 5. Anything you change. But the verb conjugation, you have to conjugate the verb and place it in the second place. That's the only choice you have when you come with modal verbs. Try doing the other four sentences right now, so it will be much easier for you. Here, when it comes with help, help is a verb which needs a person. I would like to help a dog. I would like to help you, for instance. I would like to help my mother. I would like to help my father. I would like to help the charity trust. I would like to help my college. So anything you do with help in, or the help in English, it has to do with some things. Like I would like to help you, maybe an action of, supporting to put the bandage, or I would like to drive you to the school. I would like to, walk with you. So, these are always, there is a person who, mostly a person related. So, yeah. Couple of minutes. So we will be like discussing about it. By the time I'll just look into your book and come back. Okay. So, hi Sid,
Yeah,
you're awake.
yes.
So when did you come? I didn't see you coming to the
Yeah, I
class.
just went 15 minutes later.
So you were there for the initial of the model verbs as well, Sid?
I think I just missed 5 minutes of the class.
I didn't get you. I'm sorry.
I missed few minutes of the class.
Few minutes. Okay, that's fine. But you were there for the rules for model verbs and
Yeah,
yeah, then
I was
fine.
there.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So
So,
yeah, tell me, Sid.
mm, let me read the first one. So,
Yes, please.
Ich soll jeden Tag lesen.
Jeden Tag soll ich lesen or ich soll jeden Tag lesen. Sehr
Schön.
gut. Juhi,
Ich würde helfen.
ich,
Würde.
ich würde, I would, yeah, but we don't have that in the model verbs. Which is the closest model verb you would see right here?
Äh, möchte.
Ich möchte,
Möchte.
yeah. Ich
Möchte.
möchte, and then
Dir, dir
sehr
helfen.
good. Ich möchte dir helfen. Dir means you, and it is like wie geht es Ihnen or wie geht's dir? Wie geht es dir? Like, you. That is how you keep yourself to him, to you, to help you. That's what it means. To help you, which always translates to dear or the Ihnen. And we will also look into the other forms of the pronouns later. But ich möchte dir helfen. Sehr gut. Emmy,
Ich will schwimmen.
ich will schwimmen, wenn ich eine Chance habe. Because, like, if I had a chance, if, like, just like you have to just ignore it because there is another second phrase which I did not think of. So, actually, the whole phrase is like this: Ich will dir helfen or ich will schwimmen, sorry, ich will schwimmen, wenn ich eine Chance habe. So it goes a little tricky. So for now, it is good if you say ich will schwimmen. Good. And Atul,
Ich darf zur sprechen. That is allowed, ma'am. Allowed.
allowed to speak is sprechen, isn't it?
Sprechen.
Sprechen. Yeah. Ich darf sprechen. That's all. It's like I'm allowed to speak. Like usually some verbs, for instance, to school is very different from to speak, to help, isn't it? To
Ma'am,
read.
why we don't add zur in the
Because that's what I'm saying. It is not a destination. Like where you have to go to. I have to go to a school. I have to go to a market. I have to go to a church. I have to go to a temple, or I have to go to like you're going somewhere. Then that too is very different from the verb expression is to speak. That too is very different. You understand that? Like the two in the first one is a destination that you're going to. But the second is like, I'm allowed to speak. We can't say I'm allowed to speak. To speak means expression. To help is helfen. I'm not saying ich möchte zur helfen. To helfen. Not that. Any verb you take, it translates to helfen, to help. Lesen, to read. Sprechen, to speak. Schreiben, to write. For instance, zahlen, to count. Then you have springen, to jump. And then auf, like, of course, aufstehen is a trennbare Verben. Duschen, to bath. It goes like that. That too is very different from somebody moving from one place to the other place. That too is very different. Do you get the difference between these TO?
ma'am.
Okay. So, this is what it is, and let's go into the lesson directly because it is going to help you to work with it. That's why I just thought I should give you a glimpse of what it means. 1 second, is my tool. Okay, it's here. Mhm. So, we did all these things. The last thing, and one is before we go there, I would like you to write two sentences if you're going to see the blog, okay? And you see, and this family, for instance, is your family, like family friends, or it could be somewhere you have lived in Germany for some years, you have known these people, yeah, and you're seeing all these beautiful photos that's uploaded. I would like you to write 2 to 3 lines, not more than that. Okay, just seeing the photos. Was gefällt dir? Was gefällt dir? Which means what is that you were impressed on or you liked it a lot. Yeah, gefallen is a verb which means to like or to really get impressed. Ich gefalle, das gefällt mir. For instance, if I'm going to see a house, das Haus gefällt mir gut, or I would say it really impressed me a lot. So that is what it is. And you see exactly here, das Gästebuch, which is a guest book. I would like you to look at these, which we already did, yeah, and try working on a small blog. Okay, small, not the blog, small Nachricht. Nachricht means small new, like, not a news as well. It's a message. Schreiben Sie eine Nachricht für das Gästebuch. Quickly, you can take 5 minutes to write down 2 lines about this picture. However, you would like to, and read it for us. What would you write if it was your family? Family, friends, not family, of course.
Ma'am, could you give an example?
Example ist: Hallo Florian, deine Homepage ist spitze und dein Hund Otto ist total cool. That is eine Nachricht. Yeah. And these are all Nachricht, are nothing but messages. Like how now it has become so easy that you have these emojis, right? You just say like this, and then you have a smile, you have a, like, a sad face, you have a congratulations, happy birthday, everything is like in the form of messages right now. But initially, before this time, it was usually like at least like people write 1 or 2 lines, not just, if you see the Instagram happy birthday, it's just happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. Yeah, we know it's a birthday, but what is that wish you do give for this person? I wish you this year a lot of good health and happiness. You know this person so well, and he has not been keeping well the past year. Usually, we give a very positive message. These messages are very important, and in Germany, you see that people are very, very personalized to many things, like for messages, and even if they are going to get some gifts to the home, they would like really, like, they still have the habit of writing postcards. When I went to Germany, like when I went to the Jungfrau, it's actually one of the top mountains, like the toppest, like the highest peak in Switzerland. And there are, like, I was like not really like thinking about what it is. There was a beautiful one called a postcard. Okay, you can select the postcard, write your message handwritten, scan it, and the scanner, what it does is like it really takes the postcard, puts your message, like it pastes the message on the other side of the postcard, and to the person, you can send it to one person, that's free of cost. Second is like you have to pay. So the first card is like you can choose the pictures of the Jungfrau. One is like completely snow-filled mountains, one is like grass on the mountains, like, like the whole the different things. One is the train and all of that we saw. So all of these pictures are related to this place, and you can choose the picture and send it to a person. I sent it to like my aunt who is in USA, and she received the real postcard in some 6 days or 7 days, I think. So there are so many things. They do a lot of things which is personalized, and it is still there. They are quite many people say they are very backwards, but it is not just backwards. They hold on to some traditions very well, even though they say that they are a western, like we all see it as a western country, the most developed country, one of the most developed countries. They still hold on to a lot of small messages and personalized traditions that they still hold on to. So this is a guest book, and you can still see a lot of blogs, and people do have a lot of blogs even now. Yeah. Okay. Um, so, who would like to read the guest message, the message Nachricht, and write down that it's a nice word, eine Nachricht. Nachricht means message. Amy, would you like to read yours first? Mhm.
Hello, Nadi. We left the saxophone Unterricht. Spielen Sie weiterhin gute Musik.
Spielen Sie? I didn't hear that after that. Spielen Sie?
Continue.
Come again, Amy.
Weiterhin. This means
Weiterhin.
continue. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
continue.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Very good. That's how you say or ask. And good. Yes. Sai. Sai?
हाँ मैम.
Yeah.
Ich liebe das Bild.
Mhm.
Ihre Hund ist so nett.
And Hund is there net. Good. Very nice. Juhi.
Ma'am, I didn't complete. I just wrote one
Okay.
sentence.
Yeah, yeah, please complete it. Sid.
Ich hoffe, hier seid alle gut.
Mhm.
Ihr Motorrad ist wunderschön.
Sehr good. It is wunderschön. And here as well, you can see this Sie gefallen mir. This is a very nice verb to use when you say it is a degree more than like. It is like, I'm impressed. That's what is gefallen. Das Buch gefällt, sorry, das Buch gefällt mir. Oder das Haus gefällt mir. Der Tag gefällt mir. I was so impressed, so happy with the day, how it went by, or the day I'm looking forward to. It depends on the tenses, like, whether it is like a day which was gone by or the day which is going to arrive next. So that is what it is. Juhi, when you're done, you can read it to us. Atul, I think like he's still not there. Atul, have you come back? Not yet, I think. Okay. So, the next is this that we just saw right now about modal verben. I'm going to really send you to groups, okay? Like two or three in a group, like that's what, like two in a group. I'll send Atul. I think like he just wanted to just take some time off. So the 11, when I say, yes, come back. Ah, yes, Atul is also here. So your work is to differappredo stress. Stress is stress in English. Lesen Sie die E-Mail. Markieren Sie die Modalverben können, müssen, wollen. Unterstreichen Sie dann die anderen Verben. Yeah. So markieren Sie is like just like highlight all the modal verbs. That's what is your task. Highlight the modal verbs and underline. Unterstreichen means underline. Yeah, write it down somewhere. Markieren is to mark. Unterstreichen is to underline. Die anderen Verben. Anderen Verben is like the other verbs. Andere. Ich habe eine andere Arbeit. Ich habe zwei Arbeit und die andere mag ich sehr. I have two jobs and the other job is something that I like more. Andere. Andere. Andere is, yeah, other. So your work is simple. You have to mark, highlight the modal verbs and underline all the other verbs. That is what will your work be. And you can also say was was muss Mara machen, was kann sie nicht machen, was will sie machen, berichten sie. So when you read this email, there are three things. First is what must she do? What can she do or what cannot she do? And what would she do? There are three things, and you have to underline each, like not underline, just put these sentences into each. There is a Beispiel. Mara kann Johanna nicht treffen. She cannot meet Johanna heute or any day. So it is her choice. She doesn't want to meet, so she is not meeting. Sie kann oder sie kann nicht. So like that, Mara muss, Mara will. So what are all the sentences in this small letter which gives you a picture of all these three modal verbs? Yeah. And there is a beautiful, the Beispiel, es gibt ein Beispiel, Modalverben im Satz. Die Kinder können auch nicht helfen. Am Samstag muss ich auch arbeiten. So you can see the yellow boxes and the boxes are connected because both are verbs. The only thing is like the second, the possession verbs are modal verbs. The last one is a whole verb, any verb. So that is how it is, and you can do that. So in that way, I'll be sending you to the breakout rooms because it becomes much easier when um, you know, um, when you work together. See you in 7 minutes, maybe 10:03 or 10:04. Like the day was very stressful for her. Now we will think about like what are the options that Johanna gives back a reply. Yeah. So you see that it is ein E-Mail geschrieben, a geschriebene email von Mara, which means a written email from Mara. Und dann sie bekommt einen E-Mail von Johanna. She also receives. Bekommen means to receive. She receives an email. Now we can all read it together to understand what is the thing about how she says, whether she will be able to do that, she will not be able to do that, and all of this. To understand, just take 2 minutes to read. um, uh, 1 second. Yeah, 2 minutes to read say, übung say. And here she has asked two questions, isn't it? She asked in the previous mail, können wir uns nächste Woche Mittwoch treffen? Which means, can we meet the next week, Wednesday? Oder musst du am Mittwoch arbeiten? So, or you must work, or what it is, that is what she asks. So we will see the email that comes from Johanna, and you can try inserting all these three modal verbs: müssen, können, wollen. Read it, either translate it in English to see what could be the apt modal verb there in English or in Malayalam as well. Sometimes it is also easy when you bring your mother tongue into the picture. It becomes, for me, Tamil and this becomes a little easier. So you can try in your mother tongue as well. Just like give it a try and see how are you able to understand the context and what are the words that you will use in your language. I'm going to give you 3 to 4 minutes, not more than that, because I think most of the words are okay. If at all you don't know any verbs, like just ask me. I'm right here. Wait. Are all the words clear for you? Hopefully. And just look at the sentences how they are written, from the beginning. If you are really looking out not just for words and answers, rather just give your thought into how the questions are made, where is the usage, and how these sentences are spoken, then you have a good idea of how it is. At times it is very important to know how to use it. So that is what it is. Okay, so we can just maybe we can together read it. Who would like to just start with one? You can read one and two as well and stop. Three and four, five and six. So you can stop exactly in the sentences so that it becomes much easier for the other people to read. So who wants to start? Anyone can start.
I will start, ma'am.
Yeah.
Das klingt wirklich stressig.
Mhm,
Wir können uns gehen am Mittwoch treffen.
mhm.
രണ്ട് സെന്റൻസ് ആയി.
Ich. Yeah, das klingt. Klingt, what is the meaning of klingt?
No, ma'am. No.
Klingt is klingen is to ring. Yeah, die Tour klingelt means like there is a doorbell. Klingen means to ring. R-I-N-G. Ring a bell is like klingen. Wirklich means really. That is what is wirklich. When you say something, they would say echt. Echt is ECHT, which means like, are you saying that? Is it a genuine news that you're telling me? That is echt. Wirklich is like really. Many, like, I think like English has a lot of really. Really, are you saying the truth? I'm so surprised. I'm shocked. All of this. So wirklich stressig is like it sounds,
Stressful.
yeah, very stressful, really stressful. And sounds. Klingen also sometimes means sounds. That sounds really stressful. Wir können uns gern am Mittwoch treffen. That's right. They are meeting each other on Wednesday. I'm
On
totally okay with
Wednesday.
it. Yeah. And continue the second sentence from Ish. And which modal verb do you think suits?
Will.
Ich will bis 16 Uhr arbeiten. Okay.
Mm.
Is there any other answers to this?
Will or muss. We can use
Mhm.
muss also.
Okay. So which one do you prefer?
I prefer will with willingly.
I will work. Is that what you mean?
In the wood, we are using it willingly, so we can put as wollen in there like ish will.
Ich will bis 16 Uhr arbeiten. Mm, sometimes when it comes to work, school, usually they use muss. I must work till 16. Otherwise, for instance, if he says, I will work till 16, he can even put it like, she says about Nachmittag, isn't it? Next, no, no. She says about just Wednesday, meeting on Wednesday. So he say if he is going to write down, I will work. Mhm. Usually in English context also, I must work till 14 because that is something important. So I cannot leave before 16 hours, which is like 4 o'clock. So when he wants to say that, I would say that ich muss bis 16.
But now, but in Germany, normally 8 hours is the working time, so 16-hour means so willingly we need to work.
No, no, 16 hours is a standard time format, which means 4 o'clock in the evening. 16
Oh,
Uhr is the standard time. Yeah. It is not just what you think, like, 16 hours. They can't work for 16 hours. As you said, you were right, they can only work for 8 hours, and he wants to leave at 16 hours, which is the standard time, which is 4 o'clock. So ich muss bis 16 Uhr arbeiten. And then who wants to continue the third sentence and the fourth? Anyone, please? Sid, would you like to try 3 and 4?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay. Können wir uns sehen?
Können wir uns sehen? Sehr good. Can we meet?
Mm,
So 17 Uhr, which means like at 5 o'clock,
uh,
around 5 o'clock. 7 Uhr, 17 Uhr is like
so,
around 5 o'clock. Okay?
yes. 17 Uhr. Willst du ins Kino gehen?
Sehr good. Willst du ins Kino gehen? And will you
Oh,
come with me to the theater or to the movie? That's
yeah.
like something with the will. Will you come or will you not? What do you
Or
prefer?
do you want to come? Or do we
Yeah, would you like
both
to
of
come? And we would say, would you come with me? Yeah, möchtest du ins Kino gehen is like, do you like to go to the kino? If at all, that question comes when the friends are still in their earlier stages. Like, even though like she knows her well, she would like to see whether she like the other person, Mara, really wants to come, because she had a stressful week. So this girl, this friend of hers is asking, will you come, where shall we go? That's what it is. And oder wir treffen uns in cafe. She also gives a lot of options. Vielleicht im Café Elisa. Hannes ist nächste Woche wieder da, oder? And this is a very typical question, like when you want to say, or when you don't know whether this or that, you can put the question format in this way. Hannes is next Woche wieder da. Because in the previous mail she said, right? Hannes is in Hamburg. And when is he coming? She has not mentioned it. So then she wants to know whether Hannes is back. If he is back, she might not be having a stressful week, because Hannes also participates in the work. We saw in the calendar, isn't it? Like when he comes, then he has like, many things, like he's still there from Monday to Sunday. And then is he back? Yes, he is back to the his own house. So she doesn't know it. So she asked whether he's there next week, or why is she asking? Then comes the next part. Juhi, would you like to try the fifth and the sixth?
Ma'am, is it Will's ear comment?
Can you read from Harness is next to Woha from there, Juhi? So,
Okay, ma'am. Wait a second.
yeah.
Hannes ist woher werde da oder am Freitag mach Arbeit ein Party. Willst ihr kommen? Wir können ja morgen telefonen. Okay.
Yeah. But just look at the personal pronomen right there, Juhi. Ear is always you in the plural. So who are the people that this Johanna is inviting? Is it only Mara, or Mara and Hannes together?
I think together.
Together, that's right. Because if at all she wants to ask only Mara, then it is like wills do common. That's right. But here it is ear, which means you both. Will you both come? That's the reason that she is asking. Hannes is next Woche wieder da, oder? He's coming the next week, or what is it? Because and on Friday Albert is having a party. He's throwing a party. Do you? Like, will you both come or can you both come? Both are right in this context. Can you both come or will you both come? You can use either. Can't. You can see just like, maybe I didn't share the screen. I'll just show you right here. Just hold on. Here. You can either use can't or volt, because ear. Can't, ear, volt. Yeah. Volt ear kommen, which means, why would you come? Would you both come? Wir können ja morgen telefonieren, okay? Yeah, we can speak about it tomorrow, okay? That's all she finishes. It's a very good exercise to really see conjugation of the verb, personal pronomen, and the position of the modal verbs. All these three are taken care of very well. Yeah. So you need to know the context and think of the personal pronomen. Once you actually are starting to write any of the verb form right there, look at the personal pronomen and then conjugate. This is a rule. So thank you, Johi, for bringing that, because like, and if you have done it right, maybe this explanation wouldn't be like, it would be very void. So it's always good to make mistakes, because making mistakes keeps us in on the go to really understand how it works, isn't it? So now relaxingly we can see a small film, and I'm just going to, I don't know whether I shared with the sound. Just hold on for a minute here.
Guten Morgen, Mama. Wie geht's?
Guten Morgen ist gut. Um diese Zeit.
Wieso? Wie spät ist es denn?
8:45.
Was? 8:45? Ich muss los.
Nie hast du Zeit.
Doch, Mama, am Wochenende habe ich Zeit. Aber ich muss jetzt wirklich los.
Besuchst du mich am Samstag?
Nee, Mama, Samstag kann ich nicht. Da muss ich arbeiten. Aber ich hab's echt eilig.
Dann komm doch am Sonntag zum Frühstücken.
Ja, gute Idee.
Sagen wir um 9?
Nee, Mama, also 9 Uhr ist echt zu früh. Ich würde schon gerne ausschlafen am Sonntag.
Dann komm doch am Nachmittag zum Kaffee. Danach machen wir einen Spaziergang, ja?
Ja, Mama, Sonntag ist gut, aber ich muss jetzt wirklich los.
Warte doch. Hast du denn schon die Homepage für die Familie Dobert gemacht? Florian hat mich jetzt schon 2-mal gefragt.
Nee, Mama, habe ich nicht. Aber ich rufe ihn an, okay?
Ach, Felix. Dann bis Sonntag um 3.
Ja, mach's gut. Oh Mist. 2 Termine.
I think one thing that you could just like look at is about like what are all the modal verbs he is using and when. Just like give your ears to that. And the second thing is about termine. Termine is appointments and what he says about it. And when he is coming, like, he's saying yes to his mom, when are they meeting? All these small details, you can just make a small notizen. Notizen is like a small note. Make it, and then we will have a small discussion on it.
Guten Morgen, Mama. Wie geht's?
Guten Morgen ist gut. Um diese Zeit.
Wieso? Wie spät ist es denn?
8:45.
Was? Viertel nach neun? Ich muss los.
Nie hast du Zeit.
Doch, Mama, am Wochenende habe ich Zeit. Aber ich muss jetzt wirklich los.
Besuchst du mich am Samstag?
Nee, Mama, Samstag kann ich nicht. Da muss ich arbeiten. Aber ich hab's echt eilig.
Dann komm doch am Sonntag zum Frühstücken.
Ja, gute Idee.
Sagen wir um 9?
Nee, Mama, also 9 Uhr ist echt zu früh. Ich würde schon gerne ausschlafen am Sonntag.
Dann komm doch am Nachmittag zum Kaffee. Danach machen wir einen Spaziergang. Ja?
Ja, Mama, Sonntag ist gut, aber ich muss jetzt wirklich los.
Warte doch. Hast du denn schon die Homepage für die Familie Dobat gemacht? Florian hat mich jetzt schon 2-mal gefragt.
Nee, Mama, habe ich nicht. Aber ich rufe ihn an, okay?
Ach, Felix. Dann bis Sonntag um 3.
Ja, mach's gut. Oh Mist. 2 Termine.
Okay, so what was this all about? Any like there is a like what is he doing with Familia Dobat? What has he to do with Familia Dobat? Any idea? No? No one has any idea about what he has to do with Familia Dobat. Something his mom said, isn't it? And he said no. And she said, oh, yeah, Florian hat zweimal mir gefragt. Means he has questioned me twice about it. Did you do it? What is he doing? Would you like to see that once more?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Guten Morgen, Mama. Wie geht's?
Guten Morgen ist gut. Um diese Zeit.
Wieso? Wie spät ist es denn?
8:45.
Was? Viertel nach neun? Ich muss los.
Nie hast du Zeit.
Doch, Mama, am Wochenende habe ich Zeit. Aber ich muss jetzt wirklich los.
Besuchst du mich am Samstag?
Nee, Mama, Samstag kann ich nicht. Da muss ich arbeiten. Aber ich hab's echt eilig.
Dann komm doch am Sonntag zum Frühstücken.
Ja, gute Idee.
Sagen wir um 9?
Nee, Mama, also 9 Uhr ist echt zu früh. Ich würde schon gerne ausschlafen am Sonntag.
Dann komm doch am Nachmittag zum Kaffee. Danach machen wir einen Spaziergang. Ja?
Ja, Mama, Sonntag ist gut, aber ich muss jetzt wirklich los.
Warte doch. Hast du denn schon die Homepage für die Familie Dobat gemacht? Florian hat mich jetzt schon 2-mal gefragt.
Nee, Mama, habe ich nicht. Aber ich rufe ihn an, okay?
Ach, Felix. Dann bis Sonntag um 3.
Ja, mach's gut. Oh Mist. 2 Termine.
A typical teenager. He says good morning to his mom, and what was her reaction to it? You know what she said? A typical
9 o'clock. It's already 9 o'clock.
Guten Morgen at this time, she said. Like, he said, Good morning, Mama, very happily, he said. And immediately she is asking, Good morning at this time of the hour. And immediately he asks, What is the time? What is the time right there? Any idea what the time was?
9 o'clock.
Something nach 9 o'clock, she said.
No.
Viertel nach 9. What is the time then? Viertel nach
9.
9? Ah, ade. Correct. ഒമ്പതേ കാലേതാ. That's right. 9:15. That's right. So then she says about the familiar Dobart. What does he do with familiar? Oops. Sorry. What does he do with familiar Dobart? He has to do something. So if you see the familiar Dobart website, we all saw the blog, isn't it? So here, this Felix is actually making the web page for familiar Dobart, is what I understand from his conversation. And what are all the times he had termine appointments? Can you tell me? No, yes.
On Saturday,
Yeah, at what time? What two times? No, I'm not asking about like Saturday. He said, Am Samstag muss ich arbeiten. So he says very clearly, I cannot be like doing nothing. I do have work, on Saturday, but I can meet you on Sunday. And immediately the mom says, maybe we should just see the transcript once. Then we can see where is it? Ein Moment bitte. Wo ist das? 7b, 8. Ist es 8? Nein. Aufgabe Kapitel 6. Kursbuch A1, 1 Transkripte. Just hold on. Kapitel 5. 7, 8. 4a. What is that? Just hold on for a minute, please. What is the film? Oh, they don't have the films. I think so. They have transcript for the CDs, but I don't see the transcript for the DVD Capital. Maybe here. Yes, it's here. Yeah. Okay. So you can just look into it, and I'm going to read it for you, so you can just take a look. Good Morgen, Mama, wie geht's? Guten Morgen ist gut. Diese Zeit? Here. That's okay. Good Morgen ist gut. Diese Zeit? Wieso? Wie spät ist es denn? Viertel nach 9. Was? Viertel nach 9? Ich muss los. Ich muss los is a very typical sentence which means I must go now. I must hurry up. Los geht's is like hurry up quickly. That's what is los. Nie hast du Zeit. This is a very typical mother's sentences, I believe. Never you have time for me. Always they say, isn't it? Nie hast du Zeit. Never you have time for me. And then there is a particle word called doch. Doch is a word which negates the previous sentence. Anytime you use a doch or anytime you hear doch, which means that it is contrary to what you think or what you say. The mother says, Nie hast du Zeit. You never have time for me. Doch, Mama means like I don't agree with you, Mama. Am Wochenende habe ich Zeit, aber ich muss jetzt wirklich los. Mutter sagt, besuchst du mich am Samstag? Nie, Mama, Samstag kann ich nicht. Da muss ich arbeiten. Aber ich hab's echt eilig. Means like, I have a lot of work. I can't really meet you on Saturday, all of that. Then can you come on Sunday zum Frühstücken? And then first he says, ja, gute Idee. Sagen wir 9. Can we meet at 9 o'clock? Nee, Mama. Also, 9 Uhr ist echt zu früh. It's genuinely very early for me on a Sunday because ich würde schon gern aufschlafen am Sonntag, which means like I would like to really sleep on Sunday and dann komm doch am Nachmittag zum Kaffee. Then she says, afternoon for the coffee, you can come and then we can go for a walking. Und danach machen wir einen Spazier. It's like actually have this problem with this SP still, yeah. Spaziergang. Spazieren and Spaziergang is like a walking. Ja, Mama, Sonntag ist gut, aber ich muss jetzt wirklich los. Warte doch means like you please wait. Have you done the homepage for Familia Dobat? That is what is the question. He says no, but I will call him today. And Mutter sagt, ach Felix, dann bis Sonntag 3. So they are going to meet on Sunday at 3 o'clock and then he says, ja, Max gut, Mist, zwei Termine. It's like, missed is like almost like I missed it. Oh no, like that. Yeah. Zwei Termine means like two appointments, one at 10 o'clock and one at 10:30. One is 10 o'clock. I think it was a seminar. Uni was written something a seminar or an interaction or discussion in the university, and 10:30 Zahnarzt, which means the dental doctor or the dentist. So this is what he is having on his plate, but still hasn't really like he has woken up just at 9:15 and says, oh, I have to really like go, and he's not even like spending time with his mama is what is her complaint. And to just tell you the background, the children when they are 17, 18, they move out of the house. Even before 17, I would say almost 16 years they do move out of the house and they live separately, and that is what it is. Yeah, the last part of this, I think we should just finish it because I don't want to hold on to this in the next class. So ich muss, there are like two small boxes right here for Übung 12. Ich muss, wir können, okay. Ich muss zum Arzt gehen, ich muss lernen, ich muss zum Sprachkurs gehen, ich muss babysitten, ich muss meine Eltern besuchen. Wir können ins Café gehen, wir können spazieren gehen, wir können tanzen gehen, wir können Tennis spielen, wir können eine Radtour machen. So there are so many things, and you can vary the dialogues, and you can see all these blue things. Yeah, and you can change interchangeably with the small box given on the right side. So I would like you quickly to just choose a same, like maybe like you can just like choose your partners and do one small round of the telephone Gespräch. So one is already given for us. We should just try to, you have to just take one from the box and replace the words in the blue color, which is right here. Arbeiten, Dienstag, then ins Kino gehen, and then halb acht is super. So it goes like this. Was magst du morgen? Hast du Zeit? Tut mir leid. Morgen kann ich nicht. Da muss ich ins, maybe like you can say Tennis spielen, spazieren gehen, eine Radtour machen. You can change that. Schade, am Dienstag, das geht. Wir können ins, vielleicht ins Café gehen. Gute Idee. Wann? Und halb acht? Halb acht ist super. So you can try to really, change and do things, or you can even say, da muss ich zum Arzt gehen, da muss ich lernen, da muss ich zum Sprachkurs gehen, da muss ich babysitten, da muss ich meine Eltern besuchen, visiting the parents. So this is the is the small dialogue. I think like we are almost at the end of the class. So I would like you to work on this well and come back. But before you go, I would like you to listen to the dialogue, maybe like twice. We can listen to the dialogue. Let me see whether I have shared with sound. Yes.
Aufgabe 12.
Was machst du morgen? Hast du Zeit?
Tut mir leid. Morgen kann ich nicht, da muss ich arbeiten.
Schade. Und am Dienstag?
Das geht.
Wir können ins Kino gehen.
Gute Idee. Wann? Um 7:30?
7:30 ist super.
Aufgabe 12.
Was machst du morgen? Hast du Zeit?
Tut mir leid. Morgen kann ich nicht, da muss ich arbeiten.
Schade. Und am Dienstag?
Das geht.
Wir können ins Kino gehen.
Gute Idee. Wann? Um 7:30?
7:30 ist super.
Aufgabe 12.
I think it's enough. Yeah. So this is how it is, and they are asking for each other. And the next class, I think we are going to see about Pünktlichkeit, how Germans are very, very popular for the Pünktlichkeit, which means what is Pünktlichkeit?
Punctuality.
Punctuality.
Yes, that's right. The punctuality. And you can see like not all the Germans are punctual, but most of them are punctual. And also this is going to be like the last one is going to be like one where is that? Yeah, exactly. So this is kann ich einen Termin haben is also a very, very good practice for your examspression, because you have to have a small Gespräch conversation. So how to ask, how to say, all of this we will finish off with this film, and we are done with Lection 5. And then from 6 onwards, we will work together, like, in a lot of groups, so that, we don't really spend a lot of time in small things. Rather, we will try to move on with conversations. Okay, so das ist alles von mir und wir können Montag treffen. Ja? Anything else? Haben Sie Fragen? And please do 2 things. Like, of course, it's Diwali. If you're celebrating Diwali, fine. If you have time, just to do these 2 things. One is the Meine Deine, Seine Ihre, like that one. And Kiernan Mearson. Next class, we will start with a small exercise for Meine Deine, Seine Ihre. And then we will also work with Kiernan Mearson, Wollen, Sollen, and all that. In your book, it's only 3, but I'm just like giving you all the Modalverben so that, once you are done with it, it's the same thing. It's only that, the usage is different. That's why I gave you all the 6 Modalverbens. In your book, it is only like 4 or 5. So learn it, and the conjugation of the modal verbs are also some things that we need to look into detail, that we will do it on Monday. Is that okay? I have Diwali yesterday. You can see me. No, I'm looking. Am I looking very tired and sleepy? My eyes are all like puffed up. You know why? I made palgoa. I made kaju katli. I made some cookies, and I'm so
Man,
damn tired. Yes, Atul.
don't say that, man.
Why?
Hero. Because,
You're hungry.
yeah, man. I like sweets so
Alcohol.
much.
Oh, really? If at all we had classes, I would have bought one nice box of cookies for all of
Okay,
you.
ma'am. I will send my address to you. Just send a
I'll give
box
you
of.
nicely. I'll give you nice like this, not like these cookies. I can't parcel and all. How will it stay? It won't even stay. You'll get it in bits. Then you have to just put it in the mixie and mix it with milk and eat. That's how I got once cookies from Germany. My friend sent some cookies, and our people, my God, how can they really do that? So well packed and all, and it was like crushed. So I just did that. I just put it in the mixer, Added it with my milk. It was looking like one choco chip cookie, like cookie milkshake or something, and then I drank it. The same thing will happen. I won't even know whether you will get that parcel. Yeah, but I can send it to you. You can send me your address.
Ma'am, is it true or
If you really
just
want
like
it, I can send it. I
uh,
don't mind.
we want?
ഞാൻ അയച്ചു തരാം.
What is it? What is he
uh,
saying? What does it say?
he will send his address also.
Ah, you have to send me then nice biryani, okay? That won't stay
പിന്നെന്താ?
long.
Biryani.
Sid, what are you doing for Diwali?
Oh, nothing, ma'am.
Really, you didn't do
Just
anything murukku and all that? You were in
no,
Tamil Nadu. You should have made some murukku at least.
no. I don't know how to make that.
Okay, so how do you cook? You have
Uh,
recipes, you have websites?
no, no. We just learned. One of my roommates was very good at cooking, and he just taught us.
You
Uh,
should. It's not about teaching. Now you have to, you'll become a profi. Okay. I'll tell, I think like you must know this, but this is one of the websites where you see that tons of recipes, very easy to make procedures. You should try. Okay. Both. The first one is my favorite.
okay.
And she is like no talking, nothing. There will be like only pictures of the cooking. Only the hand and the vessels are the ones, food are the ones you will see. So it's so nice. And there is another very, a very entertaining chef. He is called Oops Vareva, and you can have a lot of fun if you look into this vareva.com, because he's full of fun. He would say 1 spoon of sugar and he would be like adding like 3 or 4 spoons of sugar, but whatever he says you have to follow. You cannot see and do the same thing what he does. But amazing recipes in Heber's kitchen. You should try, Sid. This is like I'm telling all my my cousins who are just going to USA like last year. So this is one thing that like I told them, and he's like super happy with this. Try it and tell us, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Sure.
When you come back to India, you should cook a feast for us.
Yeah.
Okay,
Hope
see
so.
you. See you, all of you. Emmy, Juhi, are you all invited to somebody's home for Diwali?
No, ma'am, we don't have Diwali here.
You don't have Diwali, but
No,
somebody else will be having Diwali. Do they not invite you?
I never celebrated Diwali. I don't know how it's like celebrate Diwali actually.
Oh, seriously? Then you should come to my house, Juhi. Then you will see how it is celebrated.
Definitely, maybe coming years.
Seriously, actually, we really call like almost like our neighborhood is like that. When it is Christmas, they give us cakes and all the things. Like when it is Bakrid, they give us biryani, and we really give a lot of sweets and things for Diwali, and it goes on. And the Diwali day is like completely like you'll be stuffed with food till here. You can't even eat a single bit of rice later. That is how it is. So stuffed. But then after that 2 3 days we don't even eat anything. That's how it is. Yeah, but I think catching up with family is much more the best thing for me rather than food.
Yes, ma'am. So I was just thinking about the conversation which you showed us. He's literally taking appointment to meet his mother, which doesn't happen in India.
Definitely,
Yeah.
that doesn't happen
It's,
in India, and it is the most sad thing I've seen. I stayed in an apartment, and this old lady who used to stay in the fourth floor. I told you about it. I feel she was like above 90, and she used to go alone, come back. I would really like feel so. My heart would feel so heavy because it's 4 floors and we don't have a lift, and she used to go up the floor taking those small things. So what she does is like she'll have a very small bag into which she'll put only 1 or 2 things that she can carry, because she can't carry her walker and this. She has to put the walker and go and be like sometimes it's so terrible, but that is how it is there. You can't help it. That is how is the culture as well. Okay, so have a happy Diwali, and I will have a happy Diwali. Of course, I've already planned for it, so I'm looking forward for tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am.
Happy Diwali, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Happy Diwali to all of you as well.
Happy Diwali, ma'am.
Thank you, Sai. Thank you,
Happy
Emmy.
Diwali, ma'am.
Thank you, Atul.
Choose, ma'am.
Cheers. Bye.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye.
Ma'am, uh, I
Yeah.
want to meet my friends on Monday,
Mhm.
so I will go to them on the Sunday, and I will come in Monday evening. So I cannot attend the class.
You are missing my class just for the reason that you want to meet your
Ma'am,
friends.
ma'am, because the friends are my hostel mates. Like
Okay.
I see them for about 1 year, 1 year gap. Because
Before you saw them. Oh, that's fine. Just
so
enjoy, Atul. Anyway, I've told, but don't give this reason. Wait. So,